and welcome back to Monica's Place. You know, this time of year, I'm always looking around for new ideas on making great little homemade gifts for my family and friends. So I'd like to share some of those things with you right now. A lot of the projects we're doing today are using a lot of ribbon. So before I get started showing you the projects, I just want to show you this cute little thing that I made. I'm sure you are all familiar with the ribbon keeper called Pull Ease. Well, I made my own version. I picked up this little cosmetic bag at a garage sale, and I took my crocodile and punched holes all the way throughout, as you can see. I simply rolled up the ribbon on the inside and poked each end through the holes. Then when I need some ribbon, I simply just pull it out, cut the length of piece I need, and there you go. This is great because I can squish it up, throw it in a bag, and take it with me to my crops. For those of you that might be budget conscious, this might be a more inexpensive alternative. The first project I'm going to show you is this monogrammed glass ornament filled with some beads. It's got the initials here, some snowflakes, and some words on the back. I picked up these glass ornaments at my local crafts store. They start off just like this. Now I'm going to do one with completely different colors. I'm going to use some pearls, some pearl ribbon, and some organza white ribbon. First thing I'm going to do is take my wonderful ribbon iron and get all the wrinkles out of this ribbon, so that I don't have to worry about having wrinkly ribbon in my project. There you go. For this product, you're going to need some rub-ons. And what I recommend you do is to cut it right away from the rest of them so that you don't get anything stuck on the glass ball that you don't want. I've already rubbed my initial on, and now I'm going to put this snowflake kind of piece of a rub-on on. I got this idea from Creating Keepsakes magazine, and I want to pass along a little tip to you. It's a good idea to kind of warm the rub-ons with your hands, just from the heat of your hand, and it helps them stick a little bit before you take your stylus and start rubbing it on. There, I've got our initials. The next thing we're going to do is fill our ornament. You can fill it with whatever you want, but I'm going to use some blue beads and some silver glitter. There, I've got mine all filled with the glitter and beads. I think it looks really nice. Now I'm going to add a ribbon and a hanger. I added the pearls, the little pearl ribbon, for a little extra added bling, and now I'm taking a second piece of ribbon and going to make my hanger. I'm going to adhere some glue right here to hold the ribbon together so it'll hang securely on the tree. There, we have our finished ornament, and I just think these would make a lovely hostess gift because they're quick and easy to do. One really super great project is when you are wrapping your gift, why not use some of the beautiful scrap papers that you use for your layouts and make a coordinating card. Here's a look close up at the card I made with the Christmas wrapping paper and the coordinating gift. So why don't you try to see what kind of designs you can come up with. Are you ever at a loss for a great quick hostess gift? Here's a great little album with some transparencies that I'm going to show you how to make. For this one, I made this transparency quick little mini book where you can pop in pictures after Christmas. You simply give it to the recipient and then they can pop in their Christmas pictures after. What I started with was some plastic photo refills for a photo album. They only cost me 49 cents for 40 in a package. I trimmed off the edge that had the binder holes, and then I simply put the two together and folded them in half like so. I covered it with some printed paper, placed a rub-on on, and then another word, the word Christmas, from another piece of printed paper. I raised it up on some foam tapes to give it some dimension. I held it together with my crocodile, 3 holes here and 3 eyelets, and just simply stuck in 3 little pieces of ribbon and stapled them. I then took some Christmas stickers that I had and just stuck one on each page. I think I'll give this to my mother, and then she can stick in the picture of her Christmas tree, any Christmas memories she has once the holidays are over. One of the most fun things I did for the Christmas season this year is this cookie sheet advent calendar. I'm going to try to zoom in so you can see it up close. And I'm going to show you exactly how I made this. The first thing I did, I painted the bottom side of my cookie sheet. I painted it and I left it kind of roughed and I sanded the edges. I added the snowflake printed paper at the top where the word Noel is, and a striped paper at the bottom. To make the grid, I first used a Sharpie and a ruler and evenly spaced out 25 squares, 5 across and 5 going down. I covered up my grid lines with a thin ribbon and some adhesive. I used my ATG gun, and I just covered up the separation of the 2 pieces of paper with a piece of lace trim that I had. I put some glitter on some large chipboard letters for the word Noel, added some felt brackets and a rub-on. To hold it on the wall, I got my husband to drill 2 holes in the top, but if your cookie sheet doesn't have this little lip, your crocodile will work just fine. Added a piece of ribbon, and there you have it. Talk about digging into your stash and using up your stuff. Numbers are just random shapes that I had. This one is chipboard, it's 15, and I used magnets that I got from the dollar store that came in a strip and just simply stuck them on and put them on. This one is just a piece of cardstock with a magnet. It's got rub-on numbers for 24. For Christmas Day, I added a little bling to the numbers. The numbers can be stored on the back side of the cookie sheet and brought out to enjoy as you await for the holidays. This is a great alternative to giving your kids all those treats, although you could give them a treat if you wanted to. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to leaf through all of your scrapbooking magazines and all the creative scrapbook sites online. And if you find any wonderful ideas that you'd like to share, please drop me a comment. See you next time.